Hey, Toby. Thanks for joining me today on discussing all about the things that you're doing with Wisdom Insurance. And you and I talked a couple of days ago, and you were explaining the type of insurance that you're providing to folks on the junk removal business. And actually, there was two or three different lanes we talked about that day. Tell me a little bit about what your agencies does in those lanes, and then I'll talk a little bit about what we do.
Sure. We really are a specialist in the junk removal and dumpster rental industries primarily. And we're writing the general liability, commercial auto, workers' comp, commercial umbrella, and marine. We're writing all the property and casualty lines, whether you're a startup and you're one truck and one trailer in Idaho, or you've been in business for, 5, 10 years and you got a fleet of 15 trucks in Texas. We're all over the country with it. And we're writing, hundreds and hundreds of clients within that space. So we really started in 2013. We wrote our first junk removal client in 2015. And then by 2020, 2021, it's really all we've been working on almost exclusively for the last 4 or 5 years. So we've grown it to the point where we get just organically 5 to 10 different leads a day. And yeah, we've got account managers and agents and everybody that are just solely dedicated towards working on those specific industries.
Okay, but that's what you're focused on, is that specific lane, that specific market, that right there. So when we were talking the other day, we were talking a little bit about you describing your typical and insured, and so obviously with insurance, my experience, and I've been doing this a long time, just like you have, is that a big exposure is the auto liability, obviously. And are your accounts like everything from a pickup truck up to roll-off dumpster type trucks?
Yeah, I would say the majority of our clients have like the Mitsubishi Fuso or a Suzuki MPR. It might be a junk truck, or they might have one or two pickup trucks, or they might have started with pickup trucks and then evolved to junk trucks.
Mhm.
And then on the dumpster rental side, it'll be internationals or freightliners and two F650. So like a cabin chassis. And depending on the size of dumpsters, if they're running 30 or 40 yarders, that might be a larger over CDL type of operation, or they might be just under that and they're running 10s and 20s or 15-yard dumpsters. So it really just depends on the operation, their scope and size. But I would say our average client is running, 3 to 10 trucks, somewhere in
Right.
there.
Okay. So my experience with this type of operation is they don't do well with DOT compliance because, they're just not, what you told me the other day, these are more local operations. They're not really over the road. They're working in a community that, they may know to have a DOT number or not have a DOT number. And then that's where a lot of these operations can get in trouble is, like a truck that is 10,001 pounds gross vehicle weight, you're still required to have a driver file. You're still supposed to do certain things, even though you're not going across state lines and things like that. And I think you were telling me that some of the challenges is because this industry is sort of under the radar of all that. They don't, it doesn't come up until, there's a bad claim or something like that. It says, well, you should have been doing this or should have been doing that. Am I right on that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, a lot of these guys just don't know what they don't know, and there's so much information. So when they're researching, they're getting a lot of conflicting information. So we'll
Right,
see guys, even in their DOT filings, where they're listing that they're hauling items that they definitely aren't hauling, and they think of it as a catch-all. So they're listing a bunch of things that they really aren't doing. So we see that all the time. I mean, no doubt about it. So they're just not getting great information up front as they're setting up their DOT filings and filing for those different, you know.
right. Okay. And then I would imagine that they are struggling to put together safety programs and safety policies and all of those. And I'm not just talking for auto liability. I'm talking about the work comp. I'm talking about the auto liability and all that.
Yeah,
Am I
I would
correct?
say that the majority of our clients are not utilizing a formal written safety, resource consistently.
Yeah, because I imagine there's just not a whole lot that has been specifically made for this lane of industry, correct?
Yeah,
It's
on occasion, when we're in a franchised organization, the
yeah,
franchisor
that makes
will
sense.
provide some very brief training in the beginning, the setup, the structure of the franchise, and they might get like a safety book or a manual along with their franchise fee that they're paying up front. But ongoing and continual education, reactive training does not exist.
Okay. Okay. So that's where when you and I connected the other day that, the one thing that we do with our company is we build insurance programs. And so we look for finding insurance agents and producers like yourself that go, hey, I would like to explore doing that, and what would that look like to put it together? And that led us to this discussion. We're making this video because you can send it up to the underwriting department, you can send it up to the loss control department of these companies that are insuring these programs to say, hey, let's put together a formal program so it makes sense that we have better outcomes for you. You can have a much more structured insured and get information up to the insurance company, and then they have a better loss control and safety program for this industry. Okay, that's
Yeah,
makes sense. Makes
absolutely.
sense on all that. So the way that I generally look at something like this is, if I always try to put myself in the underwriter's seat. I'm in the underwriter. You're submitting a new risk to me, and you're wanting it approved, and I want to be comfortable with that risk. That okay? Do they have a safety program? Are they are they being following that program? My experience, I handle big trucking companies. We handle all sorts of operations, and the industry, what it's been doing is it's been selling, software, and it's been selling training to companies in hopes that they can fix themselves. And the problem is your junk removal clients, what are they doing all day? Trying to make the cash register ring. They just don't have the expertise. You just said that a minute ago. They don't have the time. They don't have the things that they need to do this. So when we were talking about this the other day, I think there's a great opportunity for your agency and the insurance companies to come together and put together a program, a formal program that says, okay, for this type of risk, we would have this type of safety program. And we can build that program and deliver it. If the insurance company is interested in really improving their losses, I highly recommend that the insurance company put in a program that says, hey, we can give you either a rebate or a special pricing if you'll put a camera in the vehicle. I always suggest putting a forward facing and a driver facing camera. The cheapest safety director I can put in any of your junk removal clients' vehicle is that camera. And, I tell folks that the camera protects the driver, whether they mess up, they have their worst day. At least we know it on day one instead of, 2 years later, when there's a deposition. So putting together a safety program, using a camera system to do all this, those are the two things right there. And then the third thing would be the training. We can do the ongoing training and all the things, and we can build the training specifically for this industry, not the training out of the box that's for a big trucking company. That's not going to work. We can even segment the training that says, oh, you drive pickup trucks. This is the training for pickup trucks. Oh, you're doing the small flatbeds or the roll off dumpsters, because there's all certain things that we can put together to make the whole idea is to codify and standardize this insurance program, right?
Right.
To just say, okay, this is the way to do it. So when you get a new client, you go, great, welcome on board. I got this great program with this insurance company. They're willing to give you a discount. You got to put a camera in there. It's going to be monitored by us. We can do all the monitoring, the camera, coaching the driver, doing all that, because the insured will just turn it off. The insured will just turn the notifications off. But we have the ability to collect all that information, monitor all that information, and at a fairly reasonable cost, I think, for the insured to gain a discounted price from the insurance. So what does that do for the insurance company? Number one, when you're filling out the commercial application, do they have a safety program? Yes, they have joined our safety program. We've given them all the policies and procedures. We've given them all the safety training. We've given them everything. We're going to ensure the drivers are going to complete the training, the onboarding, the monthly training, the curative training, the ongoing coaching. Check, 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 check. Then they want to know, well, what are we doing ongoing? That's where the monitoring is. Hey, make sure the driver's wearing their seatbelt. Hey, we made sure the driver put their cell phone down. Hey, we're watching their speeding. All of that can be done in real time. We do this with other insurance programs and our other clients. This is what we do. And then what the magic to this for the insurance company is we can put together a dashboard that says, here is Wisdom's book of business or the whole program's book of business, and say, this is everything that's going on in real time. So what we call that's 24/7, 365 days a year loss control. It's always going. You don't need to send a rep. And I did that for many years. I did that for the large insurance companies where I'd go see all these trucking companies and all that. And I would say, I'd go see them and go, oh, you need to do all these recommendations. And they go, yeah, I think so. And they never did them. In your book of business, these guys are smaller, and it's tough to do loss control. It's tough on paying the loss control person to go see an account that's got one truck or two trucks, where I can do this with a camera and technology and give the underwriter a much better idea of what can be done on this. So there's not really anything for the insurance company to pay for. This is something that, the insured would pay for. What the insured would look for is a special program. If you meet these parameters, the parameter is you will follow the safety program. Yes. Parameter number two, you will put a camera and keep it working in the truck. Yes. You will do what we say for the driver, coaching, training, retraining, all that. Yes. They do those three things, then they should be rewarded from the insurance company, because losses should go down, right?
Right.
That make all sense of everything I said on all that?
Absolutely.
Input all that?
I mean, for us, the way I see it, tenfold benefiting us is we're raising the bar with the level of safety program that we're having our clients participate in. So, and if the underwriters and the claims people and the safety people all know that we're participating and delivering from an agency standpoint this type of and level of program, then from a comfortability and underwriting perspective, we're delivering a lot more as an agency. So from my perspective, I see it being a win-win-win-win, not
Mm-hmm.
only for you guys as the fleet and safety, offering the reactive safety training when something does go wrong, being able to provide claims with the data and camera footage from a claim when it does occur, and then just raising the level of safety across the board for our clientele in general makes us as an agency in a better position than the local agency that's out there that we're up against, or even a middle market or larger type of agency, because we're delivering this higher level bar, raising the bar safety, intensive program. So that's where I see it working for us as a win. The insurance company, it's definitely a win. You guys are gaining new clients as a result, rolling the program out, and ultimately the client's really the one who's benefiting from a higher level safety program. So yeah, no, I love the idea of it. I'm totally on board, and think it sounds like a great solution for everybody involved.
Yeah, and the thing and since we're talking to underwriting and loss control is, having 24/7 loss control. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is with integrated cameras. Cameras notify us of an accident in real time. The ones we have integrated are within 3 minutes, we know an accident happens. So there's no late reporting of claims anymore. There's no, oh, I forgot to tell you, Toby, about, whatever or whatever. All of that goes away. So there's some huge benefits for this type of program for the insurance carrier, because that's where a lot of the money is lost, is in late reporting of claims and all that. So all I ask from the insurance company is Toby and I would like to try to schedule a meeting. let's let's put something together, and let's put something formal in. My dedication to this project is, again, standardized training will not work for your operation. It has to be tailored to your type of business. It really does, so you and I need to get together and put more of, okay, let's look at these trucks. Let's see what's going on. Let's see where we're having the claims, what type of work comp issues we're having, all the things that we need to deal with, and put an actual custom program together.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Sounds great.
awesome. Well, should get us started on that. And let me take care of the